Xavier introduced Christianity to Japan. Under the difficult circumstances, missionaries gradually increased believers. However, when Hideyoshi, the ruler of the time, issued a ban on Christianity, the situation became serious. In 1597, an incident finally occurred: the murder of 26 missionaries and believers. Please refer to the previous video for the story up to this point. After Hideyoshi's death, Ieyasu came to power. Ieyasu didn't care much about religion. He just wanted to trade with foreign countries. Therefore, he kept a good relationship with missionaries, who served as a window to the world. At that time, merchants from the Netherlands, a Protestant nation, also came to Japan. They thought that missionary work and business should be separated, and they told Ieyasu about it. To trade we must allow missionary work, Ieyasu had thought so, but he began to think that Christianity was unnecessary. Both Nobunaga and Hideyoshi were troubled by religion. They appear peaceful at first sight, but when things happen, they form a clique and take up arms. Christianity was even more disturbing because it's a mysterious foreign religion. Eventually, Ieyasu issued a decree banning Christianity. It was a stricter decree than Hideyoshi's. After this, only Buddhism and Shinto were recognized as religions. Persecution of Christians began in many places. 1619, 52 killed in Kyoto. 1622, 55 killed in Nagasaki. 1623, 55 killed in Edo. All were executed by cruel methods: burning at the stake, hanging upside down, beheadings, and so on. This was of course to make people afraid. No one wants to suffer such a tragedy. At this point, many people must have given up their faith. Then the most serious incident occurred in 1637. There were two towns in Kyushu. Both were ruled by Christian kings. Many of the residents were also Christians. This area was the place where Xavier and his men were active, so the Christians were more popular than in other areas. One day, the kings were replaced. The new kings were not Christians, and they were very nasty. The king wanted to renew the castle, so he imposed heavy taxes on the residents. He also wanted to go on foreign tour, so he imposed heavy taxes on the residents. Those who couldn't pay were tortured and easily killed. Eventually, Christians became targets. Many Christians were cruelly killed too. Unfortunately, a famine also broke out. The residents' patience ran out. Some residents planned a rebellion. To avoid being discovered, they held a meeting on an isolated island. They appointed a 16-year-old boy as their leader. He was Shiro, a charismatic figure recognized by all. He was also a Christian. The rebels holed up in an old castle. The residents of the surrounding area gathered there. Their number eventually reached about 30,000. The kings dispatched an army to defeat it, but the rebels were strong because they were very angry, so the kings asked for support from the shogunate. The shogunate dispatched an army, but they were hodgepodge and their teamwork was poor, so they lost to the rebels again. The army held a military meeting. Then they decided to gather more men. In the end, the army swelled to 120,000. Even so, the rebel force was still very strong, so the army decided to surround the castle and attack the rebels for food. With their supply route cut off, the rebel army weakened. In the end, they all ate seaweed. This was because behind the castle was the sea. The rebels could no longer bear the pain, and little by little, some of them began to surrender. The siege lasted 3 months. The army held another meeting. Should they continue the siege or launch a full-scale attack? As a result of the meeting, they decided to launch a full-scale attack. This was because it would be more appealing to the public. Finally, the full-scale attack began. The weakened rebels were easily defeated. Almost all the rebels were captured and killed. The number is said to be about 30,000. The leader, Shiro, was also captured and killed. Shiro's face was not known to the army, so many young boys' heads were carried. It was Shiro's mother who identified the heads. His mother had already been captured by the army. When she saw one of the heads, she fell. That was how the army found out Shiro's face. What a terrible story. thus ended the rebellion. Of course, the two kings were also severely punished. The rebellion was originally caused by the oppression. One was executed and the other exiled. Let me mention one thing. This was a people's rebellion after suffering from oppression. It was not a Christian rebellion by any means. It was just there were many Christians among the residents. However, they were united because they believed in the same thing. The Shogunate thought so. After this incident, the Shogunate began to be strict. At the time, the Shogunate ran by Iemitsu, Ieyasu's grandson. There were several methods of cracking down. One of them was a registration system. Residents were forced to register with one of the Buddhist temples. If they refused to register, it would prove that they were pagans. The other was to make people step on picture. The process was very simple. The residents were forced to step on picture, merely what Jesus had depicted on the picture. If they couldn't step on the picture, they were Christians. From our modern point of view, this is a very shallow idea, because they can step on the painting while keeping faith on the inside. But people at the time were pure. Faith was often discovered because they couldn't step on the painting. But this system soon became meaningless. Now with this process, Christianity was completely banned, and Japan closed off from the rest of the world. No one came from abroad anymore. There were no more foreign missionaries. However, there were those who continued their faith in secret. They were the survivors of the rebellion mentioned earlier. They are called hidden Christians. On the surface, they registered as Buddhists, and they also stepped on the paintings. But when they returned home, they took out their crosses and prayed to Mary in the closet. This secret faith was handed down through generations. In some cases, these beliefs continued until 250 years later when Japan opened. However, sometimes a tip-off or an investigation revealed the hidden faith. Each time, the believers were murdered. It was truly a dark period for Christians in Japan. These are the situations of Christianity in that period. Next time, I will talk about the situation after the opening of the country and up to now. Thank you for watching until the end. I'd be very happy if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you the next time.